Hello my dear friends, I'm Operator Starsky with new updates on Russia's ongoing illegal invasion of Ukraine. Let's talk about the reports from the front lines in Ukraine, European skies swarmed with Russian drones, and long-range Ukrainian strikes causing fuel shortages in the terrorist federation. This is the Frontline focus. Let's roll. Over the past weeks, the fighting across eastern Ukraine stayed intense, with Russian invaders pushing in several directions but failing to secure major gains. On September 25th, Russian terrorists kept up their attacks near Siversk, and those assaults were meant to pressure Ukrainian defenses, but reports show they did not result in any confirmed advances. On September 27th, Russian terrorists tried to push into northern Kharkiv Oblast, and once again they put pressure on Ukrainian lines, but there were no confirmed territorial gains. And despite repeated attacks, Russia has not been able to fully secure control of the Donetsk Oblast, and Ukrainian defenders are holding firm. So what does the past week tell us? Russia is basically continuing to attack across multiple fronts, near Siversk, in Kharkiv, around Kupiansk, also Pokrovsk, while using drones to keep up pressure. But these operations have not led to major breakthroughs. The map of control still looks much the same, with large part of Donetsk remaining an active combat zone. The fighting remains a war of attrition. Russia is pressing ahead with costly assaults, while Ukraine is managing to hold the line and prevent significant losses in territory and personnel. As September comes to a close, the front lines are still shifting only slightly, showing just how difficult it has become for the Russian invaders to achieve decisive changes on the battlefield. And in order to improve their stance, the Russian terrorists are now targeting Ukrainian allies as well. Last week, a significant number of unknown drones were spotted over a number of European countries. On Monday, the Copenhagen airport in Denmark was shut for approximately 4 hours after 2 or 3 large drones were seen inside controlled airspace. Simultaneously, Oslo airport in Norway was closed for approximately 3 hours the same night due to a drone sighting. Also, on the Mourmelon-le-Grand base in France, the French army confirmed a sighting of several small unidentified drones overflying the base overnight. On Wednesday, September 24th, the airspace closed in Aalborg airport in Denmark after more than 1 drones were spotted with lights on, and Aalborg is also a military airbase. Next day, there was a second closure of the same airport, and it took place after another drone report. And then on Friday, September 26th, the Billund airport in Denmark was also briefly shut down due to a drone report. It later walked back as likely a bright star, but it did trigger a closure. And also in northern Germany, in Schleswig-Holstein, authorities report multiple unidentified drones overnight. The next day, on Saturday, multiple Danish military sites, including Karup, which is Danish largest base, reported new drone sightings overnight. Police and defense confirmed unknown aerial activity. And at the Orland Air Base in Norway, police investigates drone sightings near the base that hosts Norway's F-35 jet fighters. And finally, on Sunday, civil airports at north of Norway have diverted flights after suspected drones were spotted. The temporary closures were reported by local media and airport operator statements. A disturbing report came from a Danish tabloid Ekstrabladet when they chartered a helicopter and filmed a Russian Rapuha-class landing ship Alexander Shabalin loitering roughly 20 kilometers off Langeland with its transponder switched off. Later, on 28th of September, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers is involved in launching and controlling drones towards European cities, according to the new data that was obtained by the Ukrainian intelligence. The experts believe that there are several reasons Russia could send its surveillance drones into European airspace. Reason number 1 is testing defenses, since the drones may have been checking how quickly airports, police and military react to the aerial threat. And additionally, that helps map out radar coverage, blind spots, and understand the rules of engagement. The reason number 2 is causing disruption, because closing airports for hours is a cheap way to cause an expensive problem for the community. And reason number 3 is rehearsing future operations, because these flights could serve as practice for more advanced missions that might be prepared in frames of the upcoming invasion of Europe. Reason number 4 is obviously spying on the infrastructure, since airports are generally tied to fuel, power, and transport networks, and also collecting intel could possibly support Russian sabotage or cyber attacks later. And finally, reason number 5 is basically sending a message, because flying drones over NATO countries shows Russian reach and also creates uncertainty, leaving governments unsure whether to consider this as a serious incursion and serious threat. In the long run, it may also introduce serious pressure on the European production of the air defense equipment and may possibly result in shortage of anti-air missiles coming to Ukraine, because the countries may decide to stockpile those missiles to defend themselves. In any case, Russia keeps showing its aggressiveness towards its neighbors, and the current situation generally reminds me of the same situation we've had in Ukraine around 2020 and 2021. It means that just in case European citizens should dedicate at least a fraction of their free time to learning basic things like what to keep in their emergency backpacks and where is the closest bomb shelter, because with such neighbor as Russia, it may actually be useful one day. And the good news, Russia is grappling with shortages of gasoline and disruptions in fuel supply in multiple Russian regions. Stations in central, southern, and far eastern Russia are reporting that popular gasoline blends are simply out of stock today. In some places, Russian authorities have also introduced a quota systems restricting how much fuel the non-commercial vehicles can purchase, and the reports vary from 15 to 20 liters per car. Since August alone, Ukraine has struck roughly 16 out of Russia's 38 refineries, reducing Russia's refining capacity by over 1 million barrels per day. One high-profile target in this campaign is the Gazprom-controlled complex in Bashkortostan, which was hit yet again just days ago. And then the Ryazan refinery, along a major node in Russia's oil system, has also been repeatedly struck, forcing suspensions of operations. According to Ukrainian military leadership, the deep strike drone campaign is deliberately designed to choke Russia's logistical chains, degrade fuel supplies to its armed forces, and make Kremlin pay a domestic political price for its illegal invasion of Ukraine. In the words of Ukraine's Commander-in-Chief General Oleksandr Syrsky, the fuel crisis in Russia directly affects logistics and the supply of the Russian army. In more remote or contested regions, including Crimea, the far east of Russia, and also parts of Belgorod, shortages are even more severe. Some gas stations have had to shut down entirely or limit operations to only diesel. As we can see, on the fourth year of its illegal war against Ukraine, the terrorist federation is now facing a kind of reverse pressure, making its citizens extremely happy every single day with more and more surprises, like disappearing fuel, growing prices, since only a couple of days ago Putin announced increase in taxes to fund the war, and many other amazing things yet to come. And with that, my dear friends and family, I wish you all a beautiful day. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed about the most important updates and share this content to help Ukraine be heard. I'll see you in the comments. I'm Operator Starsky, and as always, be safe.
Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.